Welcome back to MTD, my friends. Today I'm in HAINBUCH, America, here in Wisconsin with my buddy Brian, and we're going to talk centroteX. CentroteX allows us to be more flexible, rigid, and it's quite easy to move around from place to place, which allows us to be a bit more flexible and not the stretching kind, but so we don't hurt our backs and maybe we can stretch less. So Brian, let's talk about centroteX and where you see the places for it across the industry and how it can help the global audience watching.
Well, Tony, one of the things that with the centroteX system, the changeover is so quick, going from a collet chuck to a 3-jaw to a magnet to any type of inside holding equipment. It's less than 5 minutes to change it over. Years ago, when I started in this, it'd take half a day to change out from a collet chuck to a 3-jaw. And then you had to indicate everything in. With this, you don't have to indicate nothing. You put it in, install it, clamp it down, it's ready to go. And it's just so cool how quick you can change from one part to a diameter 12 inches to a diameter less than a ½ inch in no time. Years ago, that would take forever. Now we can do it. I can make 2 parts of one, 2 parts of another, and have it done in a couple hours.
Well, Brian, you're a machinist that has been doing this a long time, and I like that about you because you remember the old days of the 3-jaw tuck and how long it took to set up. When we were quoting jobs, and you've probably done this as well, one of the highest parts of that quote was quoting the setup time, right? And isn't that some of the most expensive, longest part of what we're doing, right?
Well,
so now we're reducing that.
It is, because during setup time, you're making nothing. You're not making chips, you're using electricity, you're still paying manpower hours, and nothing's getting done. So you have to incorporate that. With the centroteX system, it's down to minutes instead of hours that you have to pay somebody. And I can do it by myself. Just all by myself, nobody around, boom, change over, 5 minutes, done. I'm machining a new part.
Well, speaking of being able to do it by yourself, I know you have a customer out there that had over $1 million in liability just on back injury alone and invested in your product and reduced that dramatically, if not altogether. And I watched you move what seems to be these really big components around with an ease of a finger. And what else I really liked about this is once you popped it in, I didn't see you place an indicator on there because it's that precise and that flexible, isn't it?
Well, that's just it. I mean, once it goes into this adapter plate, it's set. I don't have to indicate nothing. Now, the rigidity is something else. That's just, I can hold on 15 millimeters and take deep cuts and everything, and it holds. I mean, the rigidity is phenomenal. Don't have to indicate nothing. The rigidity, I can so my production goes up. I can make parts faster, and I don't have to worry about spending hours indicating in the chuck every time, because it's right there.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, Brian, because you mentioned the rigidity, and rigidity is very important. And I'm going to get you started into the way I'm trying to go with this conversation. But when we talk about rigidity, and you mentioned I'm getting more production done, we're talking about faster feed rates, deeper depth of cuts. Even the harder materials can be in there without chatter and still getting that perfect finish and the longer tool life. All of this is included in that rigidity, and you've done it in minutes.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that I've done personally with the centroteX system is taking parts that normally I'd use a tailstock on to turn. I'm not using a tailstock. It's sticking out that far, and it's holding.
That's important to think about as well, Brian. I hadn't thought of that before, guys, but for those of you watching out there, when you think of that tailstock, a lot of times that creates vibration in the piece itself, which is going to allow us to either slow down on our RPM of our spindle or make less of a depth of cut or whatever it might be. But that tailstock does, whether we like it or not, is going to create some sort of transition of vibration through that workpiece, and you don't have to do that with this.
No, I don't. The other thing with tailstock, if your pressure's not just right, you're bending the piece actually. So what you measure after you machine it and then you remove the tailstock are 2 different things. Where without the tailstock and I'm machining these long parts, it's so rigid that what I measure is what I get, and it's there.
Absolutely.
So it's absolutely incredible system. It really is, and something I wish had been around years ago. You know?
You and me both. I've actually machined.
I'd look a lot younger then.
You look young now, don't even worry about that. I remember machining one time and we forgot to indicate something in, and a 3-jaw chuck went flying through the plexiglass. Guys, I do not recommend that for anyone, but this system is set up so perfectly to allow you to switch it over quickly, to give you the rigidity. Don't even have to indicate if you don't want to, but let's be fair. It's naturally innate in our DNA at this point.
Sure.
We're still gonna check, but it becomes redundant at that point because the precision is there and it's ready to go.
That's the big thing, the precision's there. I mean, you can check it, it's okay. After a while, you won't even have to check it because you just know, it's right there.
So as a machinist, conveying to the other machinists out there watching right now, what is your favorite part about this HAINBUCH product, going from what you knew to be true for decades, right, and coming in here and going, holy cow, I didn't know we could do that. What do you love best about this setup?
Okay, well, there's several things, but one of the big things is how quickly it can change over from huge parts in a 3-jaw to small parts, have them all done the same day, even if they match up. And I don't have to change out nothing except the adapter, the system, whether it be the 3-jaw, the clamping chuck, or a magnet, or a Mendo.
Well, Brian, I think what you've conveyed is powerful, powerful stuff. I really appreciate you for doing that.
So.
Guys out there, keep in mind, we are all battling for the lowest price per part. The batch sizes are getting smaller and smaller, so the ability to do quick change on to be redundant in a very quick amount of time, or very rapid amount of time, this is important. When we're talking about the uptime of the spindle and reducing that downtime, the overall cost when we're quoting jobs to make sure that that uptime is constantly going, the flexibility of the HAINBUCH products with the precision and the accuracy, everything that goes along with it, this is how we succeed in business. Brian, you are amazing.
Hey,
I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.